Hi, everybody, and welcome to our live podcast where we explore the stories and issues that don't always get discussed openly. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Sadie. Today we're talking about something heavy but incredibly important, the suicide epidemic. It's not easy to discuss, but silence only makes it worse.
I agree. And in the U.S., suicide is the second leading cause of death for people aged 10 to 34. According to the CDC, that's not just a statistic, that's real lives, real families, and communities in pain.
And the truth is, it hasn't always been like this. So let's go back a bit. Where did this epidemic really begin?
So, some history of suicide is that suicide has always been misunderstood. In many cultures, it's kind of like seen as a moral failure or a sin rather than just a mental health crisis. And even in early 1900s, mental health wasn't widely discussed, and treatments were often cruel or just ineffective.
Yeah, and in the 20th century, especially post-World War II, suicide rates began to rise as mental health challenges became more common, but still carried heavy stigma.
And things got especially bad in the late 1990s and early 2000s. One major factor is the rise of untreated depression, bullying, and the opioid crisis. Also, limited access to mental health services in rural areas made things so much worse.
And let's not forget about the impact of the internet and social media. Cyberbullying, online comparison, isolation, all that really exploded in 2010s. So right there, you can really start to see the number one factor of the rise of depression and suicide.
It's online, and cyberbullying is definitely the biggest one right now. And to give you some numbers, from 1999 to 2018, suicide rates in the U.S. increased by 35%. That's crazy.
Right now, we're in a mental health emergency. In 2021 alone, nearly 50,000 Americans died by suicide. And here's something that shocked me. LGBTQ plus youth are 4 times more likely to attempt suicide than their straight peers, states the Trevor Project.
And among young adults, especially teens these days, the numbers are rising fast. Social isolation during the pandemic definitely made things worse. There was a 22% increase in ER visits for suspected suicide attempts among young teen girls in 2020. And I definitely think that COVID was a big factor that nobody thought would have on suicide because just the kids with the phone.
Yeah. And everyone was cooped up in their house.
Yeah.
I feel like TikTok really started then. Mm-hmm. And that's just the main factor, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
And that's terrifying. And let's not forget about veterans, who make up just 7% of the U.S. population, but account for 13% of all suicide deaths.
And I think that what we've gotten from this is that root causes are layered. Trauma, lack of support, stigma, poverty, identity struggles, and inaccessibility of care. It's not just one thing. And like you just said with the veterans, a lot of veterans have PTSD and trauma and cannot handle it, so they end up taking their own lives.
And I feel like since they grew up with mental health not being so valued, they don't really know what to do.
Yeah.
So now that we know the problem is massive, what can actually be done?
Well, I think that education is a big one. I think that schools need to be better with mental health curriculums. They talk all day about math and calculus, but not coping skills. That's kind of crazy to me.
You're so right. We also need easier access to affordable mental health services. Some people wait months just to see a therapist, and it costs hundreds of dollars. And even for the people that are in poverty and don't have money for a therapist, it costs a lot of money, and they may not know that they need help.
I love what you just said. I think that mental health should be free because I really do think everybody should have access to the same care because everybody's mental health is just as important as the next person, no matter if you're just going through a breakup or you have trauma. And there's also a 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Anyone in the U.S. can call or text it now. That's a great step forward.
And communities need to be more proactive, like churches, community centers, and even workplaces can create safe places.
Yeah, and I also think we really need to normalize checking in on each other. It sounds simple, but literally asking to your friends or family, are you okay? And actually listening to somebody can change someone's day or even just save somebody's life and you don't even know it.
You're so right. And also, just like check up on your neighbor. If you
Yeah.
think that they're going through something and they say they're fine, keep digging. Make sure that they're okay.
Because even just asking twice a day, are you okay? You might sound annoying, but that is like, it's the little things that matter.
And I know it's not easy to hear all of this, but the suicide epidemic won't go away if we ignore it.
And like we've said before, we really need to break the stigma, support real policy change, and most of all, listen. Every person lost to suicide is a reminder that we just need to keep doing better.
If you or someone you know is struggling, call 988 or visit the Suicide Prevention Lifeline online. You are not alone, and help is real.
We'll be linking resources in the show notes. Please check them out and share this episode. You'll never know who needs it, never know who needs to hear it.
And once again,
Thank you for listening
in the silence.